All right, this is daily chart of BBRY. BBRY, I have a great story to talk about the stock now, and a great, a unique view. Now, this is one of my screens that I use. I was talking about BlackBerry, back in while when it was trading very well in these areas over here. But what one of my screens does is show a very great picture of why I believe BlackBerry has put in a significant bottom now technically, and how TA can be used to give long-term investors a good reason to buy. A lot of people were guessing over here and over here, and it was still in a mess zone according to my TA. And I want to just explain this. This is my unique view. Nothing is like this. Okay, so let's take a look at this now. Here we have what's called my trigger vision LT line. I wanted to use it today. I just changed it to that, which is this line here. Then we have a trigger up line, which is this time right over here. These two lines acted as a major resistance and support for BlackBerry. And when we were in this area here, we needed really to show some power, and we never got that power. And when earnings came and they just smashed it lower, people were guessing, yeah, we had moves. But as we can see, these two particular lines have been correct on BlackBerry ever since May. There was problems in May. From April, really. They failed to agree. They stopped agreeing pretty much in June and July, and they were correct. And they're very important here in my analysis to show you why I believe there's a great bottom. Not only that, I look at volume patterns and everything, but just these two lines alone show a different picture that has never been seen, or it's never happened before on BlackBerry. So as BlackBerry, who people who want to go long BlackBerry, who believe in BlackBerry is going to go higher, you know, this is now a very bullish sign. Just alone on this technical line, that has been correct for the longest time. Okay, as we started losing the support here, what happened? Much lower prices came in. Finally, just on Friday, the stock went up on a ton of volume. Something that I was screaming about that was necessary back in these days. I was telling the BlackBerry longs, we need volume, we need volume. Nobody would understand this. They didn't, we don't need that. Well, I was right then, and I'm right now, and I'm making the video to show strong technical analysis, unlike anything ever seen. This screen here shows a picture unlike anything else, and I'm really proud of it. And even though this is not the kind of stock that I would go crazy for to go long, what I'm just showing and demonstrating is that the risk is much lower now, and there's proof, technical proof, that the stock wants higher prices. One of the days that I believed there was a bottom, I didn't mention this on any boards, but I did talk to my brother about this, was on this day here, as this was a bottom. I said, I called him up and said, you know what? I think BlackBerry has bottomed. And then the stock basically channeled, and we finally got to push higher here, right? And we cracked this line on heavy volume, and we've never been able to do that. Now, what we obviously want to see the stock do, or longs want to see, is how the stock cracks above 7.5 and how it holds in that area. We could base, or we can base up higher. It's hard to say, but what is very clear is a strong bottom is in place based on a lot of facts. But I'm just talking about this. I know there are other reasons. I don't want to talk about them, but this is just simple, strong illustration of one of my technical lines. These are only one of the facts I look at that suggest. This is one screen, by the way. I have different screens as well that give a different picture that I used to check. But this particular screen is very useful in showing the big picture of how we've massively changed now from failing on the bullish side to now possibly reversing from the bearish side back to the bullish side, where the stock will trade. And again, that volume was great. So look at this price, 722. Now I can tell you there were people shouting, "Oh, it was a great buy," and they were telling people to buy long term, so-called pros. Only for the stock, way back when they thought it was cheap in the tens, by the way. Then it crashed lower, and they thought it's cheap here, right? And they crashed lower. There was no proof here. Here's my point, and my technical lines said there were an issue. it really said, you know what? You want to see this crack above this area, right? In other words, what it was showing here, this line was showing is you need massive force. So there was no power, as you can see. You've got volume here on this day, right? But we have all this resistance still to pass. Finally, the volume comes cracking on this number. This line gave a buy point. Now there were, someone could have bought even lower, but what I'm getting at is just looking at proof, okay? I'm not talking about buying the best prices. Strong proof, strong reason that if someone believes this company is undervalued, which it is, that now you have strong proof technically that there is something, that prices aren't going to go much lower. And so a long-term investor would want to step in and buy the stock at this point. My point being here is TA does matter, and it matters a lot, and that's the point. Follow me for more great advice. I put up a lot of great setups. I've talked about BlackBerry. I wanted to make a special update. I was correct on a lot of things. I warned many longs back up here. Wait for the power. Wait for the power. Wait for it to show stronger prices. Many thought this price was low at $14 a share. Finally, after the longest time, I could recommend someone buying into the stock. Not that this is something that I typically do, but if someone really likes BlackBerry as a long-term investor, now you can go long the stock and probably make some money. The risks are low, and the potential to make some money is a lot higher. Again, I don't know how long it's going to take, but what I'm getting at, there's a major change and a different inflection point here, and it's very well described in my technical lines that I explained. Thanks for listening. Like the video.